Hello, in this video, what I would like to do is to explain how I went from the original idea from Perfect 112 Customs on how to make a functional wireless lightsaber with some straw and this LED strip and a fishing pole battery, right, into something more like kind of commercial product where you can simply roll the battery on this hilt and plug it on and off and remove the battery for charging and as many times as you want, right, in a reliable way, so that you don't need to put together your lightsaber every time you want to change the battery. So you need two different sizes of heat shrink tubing. This is 2 millimeters, this is 6 millimeters, and these are heat shrinking up to 2 to 1 ratio, meaning that 2 millimeters is going to be shrinking to 1 millimeter when you apply heat, and this 6 millimeters is going to become 3, which is actually this. Okay, so this becomes this. Make sense? Okay, cool. Next, what do you need? The battery. And this is the battery. Super small. Sorry about that, but let's name it. Okay, so battery is right now CR322, but you could also use CR316. 316 is shorter in length, like that. Okay, like 6 millimeters less, more or less. Like you remove the bottom part, right? It's shorter, something like this. And this is CR322, which is 3 millimeters in diameter, 22 millimeters in length. Okay. Now, what else do we need? We have the heat shrink tubing, the battery, of course, and the LED, which is the protagonist, kind of protagonist. This is the LED that I'm using. This is ordered from AliExpress. Let me put this in here so that you capture all the details. This is blue, and as you can see, the length, well, voltage is 3 volts, and this is the length, 110 millimeters. You need to buy 80 millimeters, which is the equivalent to a Black Series lightsaber, because mine 110 is too long. Okay, let's start. You don't want the battery alone. You need this kind of fishing pole LED lights that are used to know when the fish has beaten the bait. Well, this is what you need. Not only because of the battery, but also because you need to actually destroy this LED part and get only the metal tubing, the metal structure, because that is looking exactly like this. Okay, so this is what comes out of there, and this is something you really need. Okay, make sure the poles are on the same side, because I've seen some of these LED strips where the negative is in here, the positive is in there, and those do not work for our purpose. Okay, so let's review the plan. All right, we have two different heat shrink tubing. The inner one is going to be the 2 millimeters that then turns into 1 millimeter. We will apply it only halfway into the negative pole from the end of it, and we will bend it inwards, facing the LED strip. Okay, so that it serves as the plug for negative in the battery, just like that. Okay, so that is the first step, and then the positive pole of the LED is going to be isolated thanks to the tubing, and it will run through the outside, okay, the 3 millimeter one, so that when we insert it into the barrel of the hilt, it makes contact with the barrel, and the barrel itself is also making contact with the positive pole of the battery. Okay, Okay, now let me zoom in. So let's first identify each pole. The one that has a small dot is the positive and it goes to the barrel of the battery, and the other one is the negative and it goes to the pin of the battery. Now that we have identified the different poles, we need to bend slightly the positive out of the way because we won't be using it right now, okay? Make sure you use this side of the pole because it is the one that is carrying the current. We couple it like that with the battery pin. Remember, we will only cover like halfway of the pole with this 2mm tubing. This is a bit delicate, but make sure you cover both with the tubing before giving it some heat. Now I'm using a lighter, you will see, but you can use a hairdryer or whatever. But the only thing with the hairdryer is that it blows air and it's easy that the little tubing goes flying away. Okay, so beware of that. Now I remove the excess and we are done here. It will stick a bit to the battery pin. You can roll the battery on it over itself like so, and you can then remove it. Okay, in here the hole left by the pin is a bit too big and I gave it a quick run of the lighter again, just like that. But you need to make sure that the pin of the battery is able to make it through, okay? Because that's our plug, remember. That is going to be our plug and what holds the battery to the hilt. Then we bend it inwards, just like that. And as you can see, I'm touching with the positive that we had put out of the way previously. Now we bring it again to its position and we are able to make contact, close the circuit, and the LEDs light up, okay? And we are close to completing this and where the real magic happens. But first of all, we need to put the LED through our blade, let's say, or the outer tubing, okay? The 6mm that then shrinks to 3. We need to put it through it. In this case, I got a shorter one because I didn't want to make this video last like forever, okay? So I got a short piece of tube that I will make sure I pass all the way to our assembly, okay, from the very end of the LED strip. But yeah, remember that you can always, when you are doing your final blade, you can always apply heat to the very end of the tube, okay? Do the assembly, as you will see in a moment, and then since it is going to be easier to pass the strip through the cover, right? Then you finalize or apply heat to the rest of the blade and finish it off, okay? But make it easy to you guys. So the important point is here, the tubing that we have bent inwards, right? It needs to go into the outer tubing while we leave the positive pole outside. Okay, now that the positive pole is outside, we can test it with the battery and yeah, it works. Okay, so our assembly is working. Now we bend it over itself but outside of the tubing and we pick the barrel or the hilt and we put all our assembly through the barrel. And this ensures that the positive pole is making contact with the barrel, and now see, yeah, we put the battery through the hilt, it plugs into the negative pole assembly, and it touches the positive through the barrel. And here I can demonstrate my final trick, which is applying CA glue to half of the pin in the battery so that the super glue does not allow the current to flow and it acts as an actual switch. You can turn the battery to switch the LEDs on and off, okay? And to finish off with this tutorial, I'll put some pictures of what I've been doing using this same technique. I hope you enjoy the tutorial and that you do your own stuff and post it online, and please tag me, okay? See you!